Welcome everybody to It Was Tuesday with your host James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor. I see you, Blue Snow, in the chat. Came just in time, right when the stream started. Yeah. No, but again, if you guys are tuning to this on YouTube over here, I have talked about what TOs have to do to basically stay alive, and also talking about what it means to play a top tier character. But we're going to be moving on here and talking about Street Fighter 6. So after 1 month of Street Fighter 6, I did a stream where I kind of ranked the characters, and I talked about how I felt about the game so far. And, you know, people on the actual chat were like, hey, James, you should, like, do this every month or whatever like that. And I was like, I don't know if that would be, I don't know if people want to hear that. But honestly, just a while ago, I actually tried ranking the characters in a tier order that I kind of felt was correct. And it made me kind of just want to talk about it because honestly, where we're at right now in Street Fighter 6, I actually do think we're in a great position. A lot of people out there have been starting to say these things like, this game is horribly unbalanced. The top tier characters are too strong, etc., etc. And it's just like, it's just objectively false. That's just objectively false. Oh, thank you, Blue Snow. I need to do more technical videos like that. But like literally, like it's just objectively false to say that Street Fighter 6 is really unbalanced. Because it is balanced, right? Like, we literally just had Ending Walker win a tournament with Ryu, Snake Eyes win a tournament with Zangief, a Lily player just won a tournament recently as well. So, honestly, I feel like Street Fighter 6 is in a really good position. Now, having said that, you know, the characters who are the strongest in the game do make you feel bad. They do make you feel bad because losing to some of these characters, I mean, it just feels like they can do anything they want, right? I mean, in this video over here, I talked about how Chen just has the ability to win in Street Fighter 6. It's such a weird statement, like it's so nebulous and vague, and what does that even mean? What it really just means is that his ability to open you up and then capitalize off of that is just so strong, right? So he just has the ability to win, whereas you're using your character and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this character. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What's up, Black Tyler? The Black Tyler? Yeah, Rue players, stand up. Let's go. But I don't think Ryu is that strong, unfortunately. Any case, you know, even though I joke about Ryu not being that strong, but like, again, when you talk about tiers, you know, a lot of fighting games had D tier characters. A lot of games have F tier characters, like legit. And Street Fighter 6 literally doesn't have any. So I really do feel like we're in a good position. So without further ado, let's just actually go over this tier list before I talk about all the other different things. Well, a lot of people are coming in and saying hi all of a sudden. Did I get raided by someone and I didn't see or something like that? Did I miss a raid earlier? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And then, oh, actually, you know what? Another stream might have just ended or something like that. But let's go to Tier Maker over here. And what I'm actually going to do here, and this is going to be interesting. This is going to be the interesting part here, is I am going to change the name of the tiers here to suit my own needs over here. And this tier is going to be named, I'm going to change even a little bit later. But I'm not going to change it right now because what I'll change it to will be a surprise. What is this? So settings, so that's that color. This one, hi Nathan, is that color. This one will be that color. Yes. This one is, wow, those two yellows look exactly the same. Jesus. Add a row below. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So we're going to do this. And then we'll change you to this. And then we will change you to this. Because this is really how I believe how the tiering actually pans out in this game right here. So let's talk about this for just a little bit here. So here's my tiers right now. This is where I feel like the game actually stands. And so, again, this is just my opinion. But I think right now, in S tier, there's literally only one character. And sorry, let me move the microphone so you can still hear me. I think there is literally only one character, and I think that's Chen. I really do feel like Chen is the strongest character in the game. I really, really honestly do feel like he's the strongest character. I feel like he just has everything. It's like I said, when I used him recently, he just has an answer for every situation. Like, there's no point in which you think to yourself, what am I supposed to do about this? Like, he has it. And yes, does Chen have weaknesses? Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of plus normals. But it really doesn't matter, because a lot of the times you're canceling into stuff, and a lot of the times you're doing stuff at ranges where you can't be punished. So I just feel like Chen is really strong. Now, having said that, obviously there are a lot of characters who are very, very strong as well. And so I'm not saying that Chen is heads and above everybody else, but all these characters in S tier, they're right there. They're right there. Like, they're not even that far behind. I still have them in S, basically, S minus. And that, of course, is going to be Luke, who I actually think is the second best character in the game, because, like Chen, he has everything that he needs and he has damage. Both of these characters are very similar situations where both of these characters kind of have what they need to win. I think Luke has a little bit harder time skipping neutral because he doesn't have the Dragon Lash as much, and he doesn't have something like the Jinrai kicks, which I think are actually really strong, even at high levels. I think the Jinrai kicks are really strong. So I have Luke over here. And of course, a lot of people are going to be asking me, James, what are you talking about? JP is clearly the second best character. He's killing everybody. I actually don't know if I'm convinced yet that JP is the second best character. Kakeru is obviously destroying everybody, but I think that's more Kakeru than anything else. It's just like the way Punk plays Cammy. I think the way Punk plays Cammy makes Cammy look way better than she actually is. Right, and then Luke also has that crazy requirement to have your perfect combos be exactly on the proper timing and stuff like that. But I don't think JP is actually the second best character in the game. I think if you know how to fight him, you can actually fight him fairly decently. Having said that, I think JP is the third best. Because I don't think JP really loses any matches. As much as people are like, oh, Cammy beats JP. No, Cammy doesn't beat JP. But we're also starting to see, like, Guiles beat JP, which was supposedly, like, one of Guiles' worst matches. Like, I mean, Knuckledew says that he still thinks that match is horrible. But we're seeing more people understanding how to fight JP a little bit more. Right. So just wait for the snap and walk forward. Block a ground spike, like I did in my Snake Eyes analysis video. Block a ground spike. So, for example, when I'm Kim and I block a ground spike, I run and slide. Like, that hits a lot of JPs. The smart JPs will throw a closer ground spike, and so I run and slide into the ground spike. Now I have to guess. When I played as Ken against JP, I didn't have run and slide. But when I block the ground spike, I know that when you block the ground spike, it's a mix-up time for JP. So sometimes he would do the closer ground spike and I would dash into it. So sometimes I would stay in place and he'd do the closer ground spike and then I could move forward, etc., etc. I understood where the moment to move was, so I was able to handle JP. Sometimes I blocked the auto spike from the sky and then got hit by the ground spike, and I'm like, stupid, what am I doing? If you block the auto release of the portal spike, don't move because the ground spike is coming. You know, most of the time that I got hit by JP, I understood it was my mistake, and eventually I would end up beating the JP with Ken, right? Because you have to understand how to fight JP. Now, obviously, the other top players know how to fight JP, but again, fighting games can't have a solution to every problem. If there's a solution to the problem, then there's literally no problem. Right? That's what I always say, right? If I can tell you how to beat a mix-up, then it's not a mix-up. It's useless. The whole point of a mix-up is if he does this, you do this. If he does this, you do this. If he does this, you do this. Go, guess. That's the whole point of a fighting game. So if I tell you how to get past JP's zoning game, then he has no zoning game. So the idea is basically that you just have to know when is the time to make your guesses. And in the end, JP's zoning is not what makes him strong. It's his offense. His offense is ridiculous. You can get rushed down and murdered by JP so badly. And so what Kakeru is actually doing is he's just outplaying people. Like, he's just outplaying people. Again, like, he's like, yes, does JP carry people? Yes. Is Kakeru being carried by JP? Not really. Kakeru is just kind of ridiculous. Dude, he's kind of ridiculous. So I wouldn't just say, like, oh, JP is clearly the best character. She's so good and da-da-da-da. Like, I actually feel he's more fightable than Ken and Luke is. Honestly, I really do. And then this is my big controversial pick here. This is my big controversial pick here because I know a lot of people don't agree with me. But there is just no part of me that can ever believe that this character isn't one of the best characters in the game. And he has so much more room to grow as he is right now. And that's Blanca. It's Blanca. This character is nuts. This character is so ridiculous. He does every goddamn thing he wants in this game. He has every mix-up. He's so scary, and he actually can legit turtle you. Why does his standing heavy kick knock you down? Why? Why does his standing heavy kick knock you down? Why? Out of the air. Why does he not need a counter hit to knock you down out of the air with standing heavy kick? Why does he get a full combo off of one of the best anti-air buttons in the game? Why? Why does his air EX block a ball plus on block? Why? He's the best install super in the game. Like, the Blanca Chans are way better than Kimberly's spray paint. Like, honestly, like, it's crazy. It's that time again. Hi, Nathan. So, like, honestly, I can't see how Blanca is not the best character. You see the things that Mena RD is doing with this character, and it's crazy. And he doesn't spend the majority of his time on Blanca. If Mena RD, I feel like if he just focused only on Blanca, like, this character is... I think this character is ridiculous. I really honestly think that this character is ridiculous. So this is my one pseudo hot take. Now, cat hair. Dude, Liang Liang, in China, dude, that ICFC, the Blanca, dude, that guy was ridiculous, dude. That guy is nuts, dude. Oh my god. Holy crap, that character is crazy. I mean, that player is crazy with Blanca, dude. That guy's nuts. All right, so here's where I cop out a little bit. Okay? So I said I was going to call this A, but I was going to change the name of this, okay? Here's my A tier, but I cannot order this tier. Every time I look at these four characters coming up and I try to rate them between each other, they keep jumping around and I cannot figure out who goes where. Like, I legit cannot argue one way or the other because every time I'm like, no, this character's clearly ridiculous. Like, clearly ridiculous. Then I look at the other characters and I'm like, no, this character is clearly ridiculous. This character is clearly ridiculous. I cannot rank them. And it's probably not hard to guess as they are, as JP is trying to do in the chat over here. And he's not far off because He's pretty right about that one. Where is Cammy? I'm putting them in alphabetical order here. DJ, Guile, and Jury. I cannot order these characters here. I cannot order them. Because every time I think Cammy is actually the worst of these four, you see what Punk is doing, and you're just like, God damn, this character is just so crazy. Yeah, Jury, dude. Jury, like, should she be? I don't know. Like, that's the problem. Like J-Dog asked, like, does Jury win a lot of things? Like, a lot of juries make it far, and then they always, like, fall short. Like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. If I had to rank these characters in an actual order, me personally, this is me personally, I can't even necessarily, I can't even just, like, I don't know if other people would agree with me on this one. Me personally, like, I feel like maybe this is the order. Jury, Guile, DJ, Cammy. But, like, everyone's gonna be like, are you seriously rating Cammy 8th best in the game? Like, are you actually rating Cammy 8th best in the game? And people are gonna be mad. There's some people who think Guile is, like, the second best in the game. Maybe even the best of the game. It's so hard to say. Like, I can't actually order these characters because my mind on them changes all the time. If I went by my initial gut, this is what I would put. This is probably what I put. And again, since this is my tier list, I shouldn't cop out with this not ordered. I should just put them all in here. But it's so hard. Like, these four characters can do basically everything. And they're just not as strong as these four. That's just it. That's the only reason why they're an A, because they're just not as blessed as these four characters. But outside of that, like, these four characters are ridiculous, dude. These characters are literally ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, DJ and Jury, drive rushes are ridiculous. The only reason why I personally put Cammy this far down is because I think her drive rush is just, like, super, like, bad. So, Ryo Ayanami, I would say this is a mix, but not between your ability. This is like a general, right? Like, how good are they at every level that they can help you with, basically? Not as much as the beginners, but high to tournament levels, right? How can you win tournaments with these characters, but at the same time, like I don't want to do the whole thing of, like, the best players in the world are playing them. I used to always go that route, and I just don't prescribe to that anymore. So, why DJ does Marisa damage? That is a great question. And see, that's the thing, is, like, this order here is probably the most I don't know. Like, DJ and Guile, I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you who I would actually put after Jury. Like, these two, like, because I'll fight DJ sometimes, and I'd be like, you can't beat DJ. This character's unbeatable. And then I'll fight Guile sometimes, I'm like, you can't beat Guile. Guile is unbeatable. So it's really, I mean, Moose, if you're a Zangief player, I mean, of course you're going to think Guile is better, right? Because that's just annoying. Guile doesn't need to be close to you. DJ likes to be close to you, so you might actually be able to fight him. So right under there, I think, are the characters that have the absolute potential to join this crew of not ordered characters. So they are not that far behind the A tier characters. They're just right there. And I'm going to put Chun-Li right here, because Chun-Li, I think, is really, really strong. I think she has everything to be one of the best characters. She's just really, really hard to use. Probably one of the harder characters to use, which is a new one for Chun-Li. And then the other character here, I will put Rashid. Actually, Harv was saying in the chat, I'm curious about Rashid, where he stands. I really think that these two are the characters that are right there with these guys. In a few more months, by month 6, let's just put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised if Chen and Rashid were in the same level as these four. I would not be surprised. Some people, like Logan, have actually said that they believe Rashid will be top tier eventually. And I don't think he's wrong. Rashid is actually kind of ridiculous. He's just really stubby and neutral thank God. But like he's really, really strong. So I think this is kind of how I have it right here. This is basically, for me, like the strongest characters in the game, because I think the separation between Ken, Chen, and Rashid is not that big. Honestly. Yeah, awful anti-air is kind of holding him back. That is true. The fact that his anti-airs just get stuffed is definitely true. So Moose says that Marisa is in between Chen and Rashid. Well, I have Marisa next, okay? So she's clearly the best character. She's the most top tier character that's not top tier. Like, because she can't lose. Every matchup is at worst even for her, because if she hits you, you die. That's it. You're dead. That's it. It's game over. You die. However, she just still has weaknesses, right? Obviously, she has no anti-throw wake-up. That is always going to be one of the biggest weaknesses. Because here, let's also put it this way, okay? OD wake up. 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 And OD wake up. Right? This is not a coincidence. There is nothing coincidental about the way that my perception has put these, and why I can't put Marisa in the same tier as all the other characters. Because while OD Scootum does beat lows, you can bait Scootum out with jab into drive rush, a drive impact, for example. That actually I don't know if it works with other characters, but Kimberly, if you see Scootum, if I do jab canceled into drive impact, that beats it, right? And then she can't beat throws. She can't beat throws, right? That's the problem. She doesn't have a way to stop throw. Yeah, and absolutely, OD Wake Up is the reason Kim is not there anymore. If she had an OD Wake Up, she'd be right up there with everybody else, honestly. But you'll start to see the theme here is that now these are all the characters who are super good, and their weakness is that they don't have the OD Wake Up, right? Because right after Marisa, I have Dalsum. He's amazing. He doesn't have an OD Wake Up. That's like his biggest weakness, right? This is the biggest problem with this character, honestly. This is where Dalsum suffers. He has a lot of little other weaknesses, but as I've said multiple times, Dalsum is a character that needs everybody else to optimize so that he can optimize. Dalsum is a counter character, right? Until you optimize your character, Dalsum has to kind of wait to see how he optimizes against you, because he's always going to have a different way to counter all the different things that you are able to do. And so while everybody is still kind of... So yes, that honestly means one of the best ways to fight Dalsum is to be as random as possible. I literally lost. So I was in Battle Hub playing Ken against the Dalsum, and the Dalsum beat my Ken. And then another Ken challenged him, and that Ken was the drive impact jumping EX Tatsu Shoryu in the middle of nowhere master, and did better against the Dalsum than I did. He did better against the Dalsum than I did with my calculations and stuff like that. So like that's why yes, it's actually better to be kind of random against Dalsum so that he can't optimize his defense against your optimized offense. But Dalsum, I think, has a lot of room to grow. I think this character will get stronger as time goes on. Will he reach this vaunted A and S tier? I don't know, and probably not, because he has no OD Wake Up. Again, being knocked down is just not fun, dude. The corner pressure in this game is too strong. All these characters here, they get you in the corner, you're dead. All of these characters, all four of these characters, maybe not Chen as much, but at least the other 9 characters, and probably Chen, they get you in the corner, you're just dead. And you know what the worst part about it is? Every one of these characters down here, they get you in the corner and you're kind of just dead. Like, that's the name of this game. And if you don't have, I really honestly believe if you do not have an OD Wake Up in this game, you're basically just, you can't be top tier in this game. You just can't be top tier in this game. I firmly believe everybody needs an OD wake up. Now, I want it to be creative. Aki looks like she has an OD escape like Fang. So it looks like she just kind of, creeps out of the corner. So I think that's her OD wake up. Like I said, I want to give Dalsum a special move, which is down and 3 kicks, which makes him OD float into the sky and then throw a fireball faster than he can float and throw a fireball manually. And while he floats on the way up, he's invincible. So he goes up in the fireball out of the air. So basically, it's like an invul get into the air, throw fireball move. The problem is that that's kind of useless because you block the fireball and then you murder him, right? Because he's right next to you. Well, you can cancel the initial invul teleport, the flying part, into a teleport that goes across the screen for another 2 bars. So it costs him 4 bars to escape, right? We can be creative with this. Like, even if we made it so that Odie Scutum doesn't counter throws like JP, but what if Odie Scutum just tech throws? Like, just automatically tech throws so nobody has an advantage, right? Or, stuff to that degree. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, honestly. I'm hoping that we can come up with creative ways to make wake up OD moves, OD escape options. Because, honestly, Marisa and Dalsum, if both of these 2 characters did gain legit OD wake-ups, like, they're, like, here. Like, it's not like a lot of the other characters where if you gave them an OD wake-up, they would probably jump up to A tier. Like, these 2, like, Marisa would jump up to S minus, like that. Dalsum would probably jump to A tier. But Marisa, if she had a legit OD escape, this character's a problem now. Like, she's terrifying. So we have to be careful. And the reason why Scutum is an interesting one is because you can hold Scutum as well, right? If OD Scutum had a fixed timing like JP, then I think you could make it counter throws. But because she can hold it and then have follow-ups out of it, you can't do it. Like, that would be super broken. Super broken. Next on the list, and I rate her higher than most people, is Kimberly. I really think this character is very, very strong. I really do. I think this character is stronger than a lot of people give her credit for, but she just doesn't have an OD wake-up. I think she's really good. Although I will say that the next character after her, which is Honda, these 2, I flip-flop back and forth on them. But Honda's a character that you can kind of figure out, and I am a little bit biased because my character fights Honda well. Kim can actually fight Honda pretty decently, so it makes it so that my take on this is a little bit tainted, right? But I think that Kimberly is really strong. I think she's way stronger, and I think she's only going to get stronger because even now, as I play her, I keep finding better mix-ups with her. I find new routes with her. I find new knockdowns that lead to some really cool shit that I just had no idea was a thing before. Like, I keep finding new things that I'm like, wait, I didn't know this comboed, So Kimberly, the nice thing is that, you do have to learn how to perfect parry the headbutt a little bit. But even if you don't perfect parry it, a lot of times if you block the headbutt, your standing medium kick can annoy him. But he's -4. He's not in a great position. And then Kimberly's crouching fierce just murders butt slam. Now, obviously, Honda can change the 3 different timings of the butt slam, which makes it a little bit trickier. But even if Honda kind of falls behind you or in front of you, your crouching fierce beats it. You get a knockdown hit, so you get crouch fierce into heavy tatsu every single time. Your B tier are knowledge checks. That's a great way to put it, Solzan. Yeah, I can see that a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of these characters are knowledge checks here. But that's who I have in B. In B minus, sadly, how the mighty has fallen is Manon, who I feel like has gotten weaker and weaker and weaker as the game has moved on. Now, there are obviously people like Idom and, who's the player in EU who still keeps doing well with Manon? Like, I know there's a U in his name. Not Luffy. Uh, God, what is the place? Someone in the chat's got to know this. Got to remember this guy's name over here. Random. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Random. Thank you, Lame LV. Yeah, Luffy, I think, dropped Manon, I think. Isn't Random EU? Isn't he EU or is he not EU? Anyways, Manon still has some juice, but she's gotten weaker. And honestly, the biggest problem with her is that her offense is kind of one-track minded, right? Like literally, I'm next to you, and am I going to command grab you or hit you out of your pre-jump frames with this thing? Meanwhile, the entire time being very DI-able. I say this, and I think this is one of Kimberly's worst fights. I hate fighting Manon. But still, like, Manon, her range is pretty decent. But, you know, it's that mix-up. Or back medium kick, drive rush, which is expensive. But then what does that mix-up give you if they block the overhead? It's the same mix-up. Am I command grabbing you or am I hitting you with this thing that hits you pre-jump frames, right? She just doesn't have enough. She just doesn't have enough. Oh, yeah, so there you go. Random is German. There you go. Thank you. So confirmed EU. There you go. So, but again, some people like IDOM and Random are making her work. So I can't say that she's really bad, but she's there. This one's the tough one here is Jamie and Ryu. What order do they go in? I actually put Jamie above Ryu. Because I think Jamie, one, has the drive rush, stand fierce, is ridiculous, is so good. His sweep is really, really good, obviously. Well, it's good against Kim because Kim can't hit crap after you block that move. But then also, honestly, when he gets level 4 drunk, I mean, he's got the best command throw in the game. And it's just super freaking scary, dude. And it's like, Jamie just keeps getting stronger. He's only still kind of down here because most of the Jamie players will tell you that he's not particularly strong. And I know that the downplaying is a concern, but again, I get it. Jamie has weaknesses, but I think this character is still, I mean, I'm tempted to move Jamie above Manon. And I'm almost tempted to move Jamie over there right now, but by the merits of the fact that guys like IDOM and Random are doing well with Manon, and Manon has been dropping and Jamie has been rising, I'm keeping Manon above Jamie for now. The reason why I have Ryu ranked this low, I don't think Ryu is bad. Again, B- is not a bad character. Is he bottom 3 in my list? Yeah, but he's not a bottom character. Yes, like Frito Verdes says, Ryu hits like a truck. He hits like a truck. Like, you make a mistake and you're like, oh, God. The biggest problem with Ryu, and I think everybody will know exactly what I mean, even though this doesn't mean anything, Ryu is extremely fightable. This is Ryu's weakness. Is that he's so fightable. With every character that you play in the game, when you fight Ryu, there's nothing that Ryu does that oppresses you. If the Ryu is good, he's going to fuck your shit up. But there's nothing Ryu does that doesn't feel like, oh, I could have gotten away from that. And it's not the false thing like you're trying to get away from Blanca mix-ups and stuff like that. Like, legit, you're right. You could have fought Ryu. There's nothing he does that feels inherently oppressive or, what do I do about this? Like, he does the donkey kick from far enough away that you can't punish him. Stop trying to punish him. Block the donkey kick and walk away. You're not getting chip damaged. The solution is not that hard against perfectly spaced donkey kick. Yeah, he's honest. That's the biggest problem with him. He is extremely fightable. I will see Ryus when I fight them online, and I'm like, I'm never scared. I never go, oh God, Ryu. Even though some Ryus like push my shit in, right? Like I get bodied by these Ryus and I'm like, holy crap, what just happened? But at the same time, every time I see Ryu, I'm never like, oh God, I'm scared. Like every time I run into Jamie, I'm like, oh God, Jamie. I don't want to fight Jamie. You know, you fight against a Dalsum or a Honda, you're like, God, I don't want to fight these guys. Yeah, Ryu doesn't give you mental stack like Ken. Is also another really good way to put it. And of course, C tier, I don't think anyone's really questioning this right now, Lily and Zangief. And obviously a lot of people are starting to waffle on this, that maybe Zangief is actually better than Lily. And yeah, it's really hard to say at this point because, I mean, the thing about Zangief, though, is that if you're a grappler player, as you saw from Moose on stream earlier, as you see from Snake Eyes, as you see from all the Zangief players out there, grapplers are loyal as fuck, dude. They are so loyal. Grapplers are probably one of the most loyal fan bases out there. So even if Zangief is bad, and this is kind of why fighting game devs can get away with making their grapplers bad, is that grappler players won't stop playing them. And I admire that so much. I love your guys' tenacity. And I normally would have had that tenacity, but I told myself I wasn't going to play a low-tier character before I got into Street Fighter 6, okay? Zangief is a lower-tier character. I'm not going to play him. If he gets buffed, I'll get back to him, for sure. But they are loyal. And I'll tell you this right now, all the Zangief players you run into online are a pain in the goddamn butt to fight. Also because a lot of them are copying Snake Eyes. A lot of them are copying all of Snake Eyes' stuff. And it's really annoying. And do I lose the Zangiefs? Absolutely. But here's the thing. Not a lot of people are going to find success with this character. Not a lot of people. If you take a giant pool of 1,000 players and make them play through each of these characters, Zangief will probably have the least success out of all of those characters here. It's not easy to win with him, and it's very discouraging, and it's so frustrating, dude. It's so frustrating. Depends on which series you play, Reo Ayanami, because name me the second grappler in Guilty Gear. And name me all the zoners in Guilty Gear. There's a lot of zoners in Guilty Gear. Name me the second grappler in Guilty Gear. So it depends on the series. Soul. Yeah. Soul is largely a grappler. Honestly, because if Soul didn't have Wild Throw in all the old games, he'd be pretty shitty. And he gets so much damage off of them. But in the end, you know, he's a strike throw character. He's like Laura. Like, I barely count Laura as a grappler. You know what I mean? But, you know, like, in terms of, like, super pure grappler, like Zangief Potemkin style, like, there is no second one in Guilty Gear. There never has been a second grappler in Guilty Gear. Some people have said ABBA. You know, okay, maybe. But, like in terms of, like, a pure grappler, I mean, you could call Kai a grappler, for Christ's sakes. Run-up throw is, like, in the Bible of Kai. Like, in doubt, run-up throw. That's, like, Kai. But honestly, like, in terms of pure grappler status, like, yeah, the grappler players are loyal, man. They really are. And the effort that the grapplers have been putting in for Zangief is really impressive. And seeing what people are doing with this character online is really heartwarming and impressive. Because they fight hard, man. They fight hard. The hardest part about Zangief, honestly, is you have to figure out the kind of Zangief you're fighting. I fought 2 Zangiefs with my day 1 Ken. They both beat me game number 1. I ended up winning the set. Because you have to know what kind of Zangief you're fighting against. As soon as you figure out the type of Zangief you're fighting against, you can fight the Zangief, right? Is this a jumping Zangief? Is this a scared, more passive Zangief, etc., etc.? The reason why Snake Eyes is the best Zangief in the world is because he'll always lose game 1 and then destroy you the next 2 games. Or he'll almost lose round 1, make the dumbest comeback, and then win the 2 games straight. Because his ability to adapt to his opponent is second to none. Snake Eyes will get absolutely slaughtered the first round by just stupid shit, and then he just makes the guy look silly the next few rounds. It's uncanny how Snake Eyes does this. He just knows the human archetype so well, dude. It's crazy. And so honestly, like, yeah, that's one of the problems when you fight Zangief. If you do not understand how you have to process the kind of Zangief that you're fighting against, you will lose to Zangief. But 1, you become a turtle, and 2, you have to know which avenues the Zangiefs prefer. As soon as you learn which avenues the Zangiefs prefer, then you can take them apart little by little. So that's kind of the main thing about Zangief. But again, are we going to get to a point where legit it's this? We're not far from this, honestly. I will honestly say that. I will honestly say we are very close to not having a C tier in this game at all. I mean, like, maybe if Marisa gets into A-, like, we could actually have something more like this. Like, I feel like we're getting there. So, as much as I still think Zangief and Lily are the 2 worst characters in the game, I think they're getting stronger. What about Zangief piloted by Snake Eyes? Zangief piloted by Snake Eyes. There we go. That's S stands for Snake Eyes, right? I mean, honestly. We didn't talk about Lily enough. Lily is a character that her biggest problem is she's too one-track minded. Now, the one track that she has is really strong. The wind-clad Condor Spire is really, really good. And this is the hardest part. I said this even in the 1-month stream, is that Lily is a character that if you buff her in any way right now, she might be too strong. Because wind-clad Condor Spire is still the most broken move in the game. Windclad Condor Spire and EX Windclad Condor Spire is the best special move in the game. I mean, like, I think she could have the OD uppercut and be okay. I really think that, like, having just an OD uppercut would maybe put her into B or A-. I don't think it would make her broken, JP. But the hardest thing about balancing Lily is that OD Condor Spire is too strong. I'm sorry, not OD. Windclad Condor Spire, both versions are too strong. They're the best special moves in the game, right? So, dude, you take that back about Kimberly, dude. Kimberly's awesome, dude. Kimberly is the most fun I've had with a fighting game character in a long, long time. So don't you dare speak ill of Kimberly, okay? Kimberly's amazing. Oh my god. I have not had this much fun with a character in a long time. What the hell? Who has an upside down modern? Oh, that's yours? Nice. Okay. But yeah, I mean, again, I feel like the game is really balanced. Now, this honestly is, I think, a really, like, no matter, like, even if you think I have, Blanca, I said, is my only hot take. Blanca's my only hot take. But if you're anybody else and you look at this list, I don't think anybody can really look at this list and be like, nah, you nuts. You're crazy. I think this is a pretty accurate at this point right now. I think this is kind of where we're at this point. And you missed it earlier, TJ. I talked about how I do think JP is just more frustration death. That he's actually, like, you can fight him as long as you know it's actually his offense that's a problem. We'd have to nerf some of JP's offense, but he's got a few, like, little weird weaknesses here and there that I think that that people don't take advantage of properly. But I think that this is a pretty good list. Now, Yeah, this part right here will have some contention for sure because some people are going to move this around, but I think most people are pretty aware that Ken is the best character in the game. Because honestly, like after Ken, these 7, 8, 9 characters right here could be reordered in any order and everybody will look at it and be like, yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Is this list a reflection of Evo results? No, no. It's a reflection of lots of things, of everything that I've been seeing. I mean, it might look like a weird coincidental Evo thing, but I mean, Punk got 3rd place, right? And I still personally have Cammy 8th, right? I'm only just listing them alphabetical over here because it's impossible for me to order these 4. I'll just do alphabetical. There you go. Alphabetical. Cause I can't figure out the order for these 4 characters. Every day, I'm always like, God, Jury's so broken. Clearly, she's the 5th bet. Oh my God, DJ's clearly the 5th. Oh my God, Guile's clearly the. Oh my God, Cammy's clearly the 5th. Like, I waffle on these 4 like constantly, and I cannot order these because it changes. It just depends on who I fought last. 5th place is whoever I fought last and got most annoyed by recently. Is 5th place is just really what it comes down to, which is what most tier lists come down to in the end, is what annoys you the most. But so I can't order these 4. I can't do it. Not tiered. Alphabetical. Yeah, God, it's so complicated. Yeah, you know what? Forget it. I'm just writing down no order. Whatever. They'll understand. You know what I mean. Yeah, that happens a lot, TJ, when you lose to Ken. I definitely feel like I lose to Ken a lot of times more than the player. That's why I have Ken in his own tier. But this is kind of where I am. Now, I did say down here the systems. I definitely want to mention that I hate perfect parry. I hate the perfect parry mechanic so much. Like, it's the one thing that I will complain about the most in terms of Street Fighter 6 mechanics. Like, I hate perfect parries. The reason why I hate perfect parries, Ancient Crystal, that you're asking, is that the 2-frame window makes it too obscure and unreliable enough that you can't spend your life anticipating people are going to perfect parry you. You can't let perfect parry change your offense or your decision making or your mix-ups because they're unreliable enough that if you kill your own opportunities worrying about perfect parries all the time, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. But the problem is, when the person does perfect parry you, the game can end. Like, you can literally die because you got perfect parried. Like, someone joked, I think it was Labrutus was joking. He was like, what's your bad balance takes? He's like, make perfect parries 4 frames. And I'd be like, you know what? I'd rather have it be that way. Because then, like Third Strike, everybody will be trying to parry everything, and I can just throw you to death. I can actually change my game plan to throw you to death. The only time I do it is when I notice my opponent parries my jump-ins every single goddamn time. Then I just empty jump and throw. I kill a lot of people with empty jump and throw when they parry my jump-ins all the time. But here's the thing. Yes, if you make it 4 frames, perfect parry might actually become weaker because you can rely on people trying to do it. Now, obviously, the reason why it's a problem is because of the gaps in moves and stuff like that. But again, you get people so tempted to perfect parry everything You can kill somebody in 5 throws if they perfect parry, right? Like, honestly, like if you do Ken crouch medium kick into nothing and they go parry and you walk up and try to throw them, or you drive cancel into throw and they perfect parry, like, like you only need to do that 5 times and they die. Okay? They're dead. That's just the thing is like, if my opponents are gonna, and that's the reason why third strike works, even though with the parries, is because even though there are so many parries, there's so many ways to blow people up that guest parrying is considered bad, right? It gets you killed, even though you can option select it in those games. And that's the thing is if perfect parries were actually easier to do, then everybody would be trying to do it on their wake up. Everybody will be trying to do it on their wake up, and then you just throw them all day, dude. And if they perfect parry me, well, I lose 50%, right? It's like, but I can plan for it. That's the thing is like, I can do it. I can do it. I can plan for you to try to perfect parry my stuff so I can bait you and throw you. Kim run into nothing into throw would be super powerful because everyone wants to perfect parry every goddamn thing because people feel cool about it. So that's actually why I don't like perfect parries. I've disliked them since the very first day. As soon as I found out how perfect parries work, I was like, I wish they would just remove perfect parry. I just don't want them here because the way that I pictured perfect parries working is exactly how it's playing out. It's exactly how it's playing out. It's too difficult to plan your strategy around defeating it that you're just going to have to fall victim to it many times. Because if I do throw into drive rush button and you try to perfect parry on your wake up, you're going to miss a lot of times. And then I just keep maintaining my pressure exactly how it is. But now I just have to deal with the fact that you might perfect parry me. And it's just like, it's just like, I don't like that. I don't like that concept behind it. So I'm not a fan of perfect parries. I don't even care about drive rushes, honestly. I think drive rushes are fine how they are. I would just extend their hurt box forward a little bit when you drive rush. That's all. That's all I do. Otherwise, I think they're fine the way they are. Yes, even Jury and DJ, even though their drive impacts are just like are crimes against nature. But like whatever. Like it's cool having different characters have different strengths with their drive rushes. It's fine. And at least if you block, you're just in a mix-up. You don't die, right? Like drive impacts, you die. And I still freaking hate drive impacts. But I know that's my problem more than anything else. So I know that my saltiness with drive impacts. But I mean, I still do think drive impacts are a little too strong. I do think that in Burnout, you should be able to throw a drive impact. So between heavy punch and drive impact. Well, no, I changed my mind because when you're in Burnout, you should die. You should die. That's it. You should just die. So that's fine. But I do think drive impacts might be a little too fast right now. Yeah, DIs only absorbed 2 hits. But if they only absorbed 1 hit, they'd be useless. They'd be useless. Like everybody would just blow them up all day. Because like you can't drive impact in between a buffer. So like, for example, if I do a true block string, like if you have a true block string that's safe, like you're never getting DI'd. That's just it. You're never getting DI'd, right? So I don't know. Do I feel like they should be slower? Or I just feel like that if you're not burned out, if you get drive impacted against the wall, you should just lose a block of your drive gauge. You just lose a whole block of your drive gauge and you're stuck in like a guard break state in which you can't do anything but block. So at least that way the opponent gets pressure on, he gets free pressure on you while draining your drive gauge. Like I would like something like that, right? Like I kind of like that. That's kind of what I want to do, to be honest. Yeah, if there was a little bit more risk to drive parries, maybe it'd be okay to have them be as, be how they are right now. But again, my complaints about drive impact are obviously very selfish and tainted by the fact that I can't stop a drive impact to save my goddamn life. And every time my opponent finds out I can't stop drive impacts, like, I lose. Like, as soon as my opponent realizes I can't stop drive impact, they're like, oh, he's one of these guys. And then I lose, and I just get so mad. I get so mad because now it feels like I'm losing for no reason, basically. But I'm clearly losing because I'm not reacting to the drive impact. And it's not to do, like, and it's not that I don't have it in my mental stack. I think the best way someone described it is I have too much in my mental stack just by nature. Just by nature. And so it's hard for me to just empty my brain out enough so that I don't get lost with too much information in my brain. So like, I'll sit there and I'll be like, drive impact's coming, and drive impact comes. And I'm like, so wait, at this point in time, I should probably think about, oh wait, he's doing something. Is that a drive impact? Oh yeah. I think that is, and then I'm dead. Like, that's just it. So, I mean, you should absolutely use it as much against me as possible because I need to learn, dude. I need to learn how to counter it, and I've gotten better at countering it. I've actually countered them by reflex on button cancel into drive rush. Like, they'll drive impact my button and then I cancel the drive rush. I can actually drive impact that now on reaction, which has shocked me many, many times. But like raw drive rushes and just single button into drive rush, I get destroyed by it, honestly. It's really crazy. It's really bad. But again, I don't know if drive impacts are bad. I don't know if they're bad because obviously my opinion is so tainted. But I don't feel the same way about perfect parries. Like, I'm not getting wrecked by perfect parries. But it's just sometimes you get perfect parried and you're like, well, there's really no strategy against this. Like, I'm just walking around and I decided to do this perfect parry. What really is the strategy against that? You can't account for it. And that's kind of what bothers me about perfect parry. And perfect parry continues to exist the way it does. That's why throw loops has to exist. That's 100% why throw loops has to continue to exist the way they do. Because otherwise perfect parry would be too annoying to deal with, honestly. But that's another thing. DI can be so high reward that it kind of discourages doing other things. Yeah, DIs against the wall maybe should be like perfect parries and maybe scale the damage 50%. Except if you're in burnout. Maybe that would work. Maybe that would work, actually. Is if you're in burnout, you take max damage. If you are not in burnout, then it automatically scales to 50%. So, how is the mental strategy of dealing with perfect parry different than how you would have dealt with parry in third strike? Perfect parry blocks highs, mids, and lows automatically. That does not happen in third strike. But if you look at third strike, its tiering is all entirely based off of practically how well you could murder parries, right? One of the reasons why a character like 12 is so low tier is because his low confirm into super and his mid confirm into super are not particularly strong. And so he's more parryable than other characters. But for Ken, is if you dash up and I'm going to do short, short, short and then kill you, or stand strong into kill you, or throw into kill you. So what happens is, because the parry is a three-way mix-up on the defense, but parry, you're rewarded. So basically, parry does not beat throw. So you're going to have to option select, right? But the problem is, you can also predict you option selecting a throw, and they could actually walk up and just parry your throw attempt, your crouch tech, right? And so they can blow you up for that. So it's so one-to-one-to-one, and that it's really kind of hard to find out that the parry is enough to really influence decisions out there, basically. Yeah, giving a perfect parry a fixed follow-up, yeah, I would like that. Like, if you perfect parry thing, you automatically just, like, grab them and punch them or something like that would be fine. But, the fact that in third strike, you can do there's a things that you can only high parry, things that you can only low parry makes it a lot better. If we had to guess, low and high parry for drive impact, for drive parry would be better, except then characters, it creates, like JP's level 2 would become even stronger. JP's level 2 would become even stronger. There are a lot of situations where, and then also drive rush into guess is a pain. So like if, for example, if you get knocked down by Luke or Guile and they do drive rush into overhead or low, like it's just such a disadvantaged situation that if you don't have drive parry to eliminate the high-low mix-up, those become a little too powerful. That'll become the meta of the game. So drive parry, it's good that it blocks high and low and left and rights, because there's a lot of brutal left and rights in this game as well. So there's definitely good sides about that. And like I said, I don't mind drive parry. I think drive parry is a great mechanic. I just don't like the fact that perfect parry can, even though you don't get damage, you still get momentum rewarded. And I like, that's a problem. So like if it was a canned response, yeah, like I would like if it was that into a burst, you know, and a burst that didn't knock down and was always 0 on hit or something like that, like something would be good. I think something would be good like that. But perfect parry gives you free positioning. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, let's think about the Marisa situation, right? If the opponent has 1 block of gauge and 60% life and you have a level 3 with Marisa, you perfect parry one thing, you won, right? You perfect parry something into level 3, drive rush, button into drive impact, you won the game. Like, like that actually can just happen. Thank you for the subscription, Just Joe. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And so even though the damage is lower on perfect parry, it's such a momentum shift. And like I said, the hardest part about it is if you get your move perfect parry, can you all honestly say you did anything wrong? Can you honestly say you did anything wrong? You can't, right? You can't change your game plan to account for someone trying to perfect parry every goddamn thing you do. I just don't feel like you can justify it. Because if you do, you're nerfing your game so much, honestly. So, but that's all I have right now. That's my month 3 take on Street Fighter 6. The stream has gone on way too long, as usual. My cats are hungry, so I need to feed them. So I think I call it quits for today then. I think that'll be it for today. But again, like I said, I don't think this tier list is crazy. I think this is a pretty decent tier list. I think this is, most people would agree to this, how it looks right now. And like I said, are we getting to the point right now where eventually Lily and Zangief move up? I feel like what would happen, like realistically, what I feel like would happen is that Chun-Li and Rashid will move up to A. These 4 will move up to A-. These 3 will move up to B, and these 2 will move up to B-. Like, I feel like that legit can happen right now, that the A- tier might just disappear and everybody shifts up the tier. And that's not because of relative that they shift up, but because legit these characters, I think, are better. Like, these 4 characters might turn out better than being a B tier character. These 3 will probably turn out being better than B-, and these 2 will probably end up being better than C tier characters. Yeah, again, low tier, like C in older games was like, you can play them legitimately and at least wreck people's dreams at tournaments, right? Like, nowadays, you know, 6-4 matchups are like so imbalanced, you know, but like, back in the day, like, we legit had D and F characters in fighting games. Like, they just existed. And we just don't have that in this game at all. So, it's, being at C is not really that bad. And like I said, is Zangief and Lily actually B-? Probably, to be honest. So. Venom was C? Do you see what Peppery Splash does with that character? I don't think anybody can legit call Venom C in Accent Core when you watch Peppery Splash play him, dude. Like, Yeah, he's complicated, but he's very strong. Dude, more than that, I think people are, I think more than just Peppery Splash. So, there's a lot of Japanese ones, right? Snake doesn't think Geef is at the bottom. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I hope he gets stronger. I hope he continues to get stronger. But he's not going to get much higher right now, so. Oh, man. In any case, all right. Well, you know what? I'll get back to you on the Venom thing, okay? So, that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed my semi-regular Street Fighter 6 updates on my opinions on how things are going. So I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Clearly, we're all still in a pandemic, so hopefully you guys are taking care of yourselves and being safe out there. But also, I gotta feed some cats. They are clearly very, very hungry. Come here, Nathan. Come here, Nathan. Don't walk away from me, Nathan. Dang it. All right. Anyways, cats are hungry. They want food. So I'm going to go feed them. But thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you guys for the continued support. And remember that the day that this podcast graced your ears was the most important day of your life. But for me... Meow? No, not for me. It was not meow. But for me... Oh, hang on. Meow. Meow. Come on. Meow. Meow. No, I can't get him to do it. All right. But for me...
It was Tuesday.